All right, how's everyone doing today? Today we're going to be doing a lathering guide and tutorial. We're going to be doing it with a synthetic brush, badger brush, and a boar brush. We're doing a cream, a hard soap puck, and a soft soap. I've had these brushes soaking for about 5 minutes. Synthetics, you don't have to soak at all. You just have to dip them in there because the hair does not retain any moisture. So we're going to do a couple different techniques. Whoop, about lost it. So first, after you shake it dry, you stick it in. You can either stick the tips in there like that and pull it out, or take your finger in there and put it on your face, or do the same thing and put it in a bowl. So we're going to use this with a bowl today, so that's more than enough. And here's the bowl, and you see it has ridges in it. That's to help agitate it. So to get started, all you do is dip the tips and loosen some. There we go. And just scrape the sides when you see it building up. And synthetic brushes do build a really quick lather. But so do creams. Because you don't have to go through the process of pulling the soap off of the puck and then adding moisture. You just have the moisture inherently in it. So that's it right there. And then you just add water to your desired consistency. And it should have like a pearlescent sheen. I can't really show you through here whenever it has adequate amount of water, and it shouldn't dry or dissipate or look like you're in the middle of a blizzard in the middle of your shave. So that's that. This took about a minute, so super quick. Yeah, it'd be the same on your face. And I'm gonna get rid of that lather in the bowl because I'm gonna use that to hold my hard soap puck. So we're gonna get started with the hard soap puck, but we're not gonna do it right now. So what I do is I take just a little bit of water from brush and just put a few drops on there just to help loosen up that top part. I'm gonna place this back in the bowl. That's where that soap resides. Since I don't really bowl leather, it's current home and residence. And some people tell you that you need to soak brushes for 10-15 minutes, the amount of time it takes you to get a shower. That's just not true, because these right here, these smoke brushes, there's epoxy in between this ring and the wood, and wood expands and contracts with moisture, and it'll break those bonds over time. And I've lost plenty of knots out from over soaking brushes. So don't soak them too long. So the next one we're gonna do is our fan-shaped badger knot. So see how it's more flat, and this is more of a bulb put next to each other. So they're both 26mm knots. This is a bulb, this is a fan. So, and they both hold a tremendous amount of water. I'm going to show you here. It's just squeezing it. So we're not going to do that with this one. We're actually going to allow it to maintain most of its water. Shake just a little out. And this is, should have thought that through. We're going to use the soft soap and we're going to lather this one twice. So still got that tons of water, so we'll do that again. It probably fell down into the middle of the knot since I had to turn it back on its end. I'm just going to shake out just a little bit, not too much, and lightly rub the tips on there. I cannot hold this one forward like that, otherwise we'll lose water. And the reason I specified the difference between the flat and the bulb is that this is what's called the Marcos method, and you use a badger knot or boar knot that is almost at capacity of how much water it can hold, and then you lightly rub the tips in there. That's why flat or fan shaped knots work better, is so that you get more surface area on there, because you don't want to push down. You push down on it and you lose all that water, just like I just did. But it'll pull back in. This does take a bit longer, but the type of lather you get out of it is extremely moisturized, and it's a different look to it. I'll show you. So let's see. That's what the knot looks like. I'm gonna go just a few seconds longer. All right. So knot looks like it doesn't have anything in it, but let's go. Wow, they're going everywhere. So that's that. And it's sufficiently wet and slick. It's still thick. And the next one we'll do is the bulb knot with this same soap. And we'll do the where you build the thing some people call like the proto lather. I mean, that's that. I mean, look at that. And there's the brush. I mean, it looks absolutely insane. So let's get that off. It's super slick. Oh my goodness. don't want to give it a head start. So this bulb shaped knot also holds tons of water. So what I'm going to do is whenever you pull it out of the bowl or sink, just knock it. You don't want it to be able to freely drop water. But there's still water in there, it's still super heavy. So there's no lather in there from the previous shame, from the previous building of the lather. And you just rub it in there, and then you'll notice it's got a different look to it. Well, still tons of water coming out. But this kind of looks like whenever we were building the lather in the bowl with the cream. With this you do push down and go. You don't just lightly move around. You do push down just like that. And that should be sufficient. So you see the difference in what the knots look like. The other one looked like there was barely anything in it. And this, that. No, same thing. Let's go back. And this is generally the method I go with. With this, you are pushing down. You're not splitting it all the way out. You don't want to be touching the base of the knot. Just lightly pull in like that. You can do the swirling motion, painting motion, scrubbing. It's a bit more water. So you can make a hole in it like that and put it in there from the sink or from the faucet, or dip the tips like if this was the level of the water, just like that. And this is definitely to me, you get more consistent results. So if you were going to lather directly on the face from a pack of soap, this would definitely be my preferred way. But that Marco's method works really good, especially if you're having a hard time getting the lather wet enough. Sometimes you just, my brain, when I first started, would not allow me to go back enough. It was like, no, we gotta get it done. Alright, so that's that, and look at that. It's got that nice pearly sheen to it. Doesn't really dry out. So that's how you lather up. More the dry lather way, or the dryer brush way. Let's get rid of this stuff. And the last one is just pulling soap off of a hard soap puck. And we've let that little bit of water that we put on there from the boar brush loosen that top layer, and we're going to use the boar brush to lather. So as you can tell, there's definitely fewer hairs in these things, but it does have more inherent stiffness to it. And same thing. Shake it, get the bulk of the water off. I don't know if you can tell. Probably not. But there you go. Just loosen the top of that off like a bar of soap in the bathtub. And then just rub the tips on there. And you'll start seeing it build. This is not an adequately sized bowl for this, but that's what it calls home. And all that fluffy, light, airy looking bubbles that just fill, don't let those. They're better off in the sink. Now these though, get those back on there. They need to come to the party. And again, you're using the same amount of pressure, not all the way down. You don't want to be pushing the base of the knot in there. Just getting the most amount of surface area out of those hairs. And that should be adequate. Look at that, beautiful. So, put that on there. And boar brush will probably have a bit less moisture in it from after pulling the soap off of. It's a nice scent. Forgot. I haven't used that soap in a while. It's the L'Occitane Cade. You see how kind of, you can see streaks. It's a bit really dry. So thing. Add some water. And this is something you can practice and figure out what works best for you. Some people's water, everyone's water is different, and with the trace minerals and stuff like that in there can help or inhibit a lather. So you have to figure out, some soaps like the water where you are, some soaps don't. And also, if you're having an issue with a bit of dry lather, add water or switch to a badger brush. I had to add water, I think 3 or 4 times now. So that's the difference between a badger and a boar. It doesn't hold on to near as much water. It still looks dry in some spots. Alright, it's getting there though. And if you overhydrate the soap, get too much water in it, one thing you can really do is go back to the pot. But that seems pretty nice. So, oh yeah, nice and peaky, pearlescent sheen, looking good. So that's where I'll leave you all today. And, hopefully you learned something. If you know something I don't, put it down in the comments, help people out. And thank you for stopping by. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.